Good evening and welcome to the AR1 YouTube channel. My name is Brian Croce. I'm here with AR1 President Mark Cipollone. Mark, we had poll day. It's all reversed nowadays with poll day following Buff Day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Number of stories to come out of the Speedway. Scott Dixon is on pole. A Dale Coyne car was faster than not one, not two, not three, not four, but five Team Penske cars. 14 out of the top 17 were Hondas. I guess just start us off with your thoughts on the day.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went as expected. I thought Scott Dixon was going to be on pole. I predicted that in our video last night, and he pulled it off. He made a strong run, not a half a mile faster than everybody else, and so he deserved it. The Hondas are strong. We all thought they would be up front, but surprisingly, the Ed Carpenter Chevys are kind of in the mix. Ed Carpenter and J.R. Hildebrand, and as you mentioned, the Penske Chevys are slower than not only the Hondas, but also the Ed Carpenter Chevys, which is surprising. How does that happen? Is Penske sandbagging? Penske, when I interviewed Penske at Barber Motorsports Park, one thing he said to me was, well, it all depends on what engine you bring for the race. So I'm wondering if he's got another engine he's putting in his cars for the race that has upgrades to it, that the latest Chevy upgrades. All the upgrades are done on cycle, right? They can make changes to an engine, and when they replace them. So Penske may have something up his sleeve there. I don't know. Or, he's just, they all focused on the race speed, and they really didn't put a lot of effort into qualifying. Maybe that's why they're not starting up front. So we don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, well, if from the looks of it, if they're going to contend, we're talking right now one Penske car in the top 17. Montoya is the second best qualifier at 18th. So, yeah, you would think that they have something, or they're going to figure out something here in the next week, but not a great day for the operation. We mentioned a Dale Coyne racing car was faster than the five Penske's. Ed Jones, I think, had himself a very nice week. What was he? Was he around 231? He qualified 11th, right behind Hunter-Reay. He was fast yesterday. He was the 10th fastest yesterday. He's having himself quite a month.
Yeah, he qualified in the Group 1 today, which was 10th and down, and his speed was 230 some. It was only slightly slower than what Sebastian Bourdais was yesterday when he crashed, his teammate. So the Dale Coyne cars are fast. That little David and Goliath, that Dale Coyne team with not a lot of money, has very stout cars. And here's Ed Jones, a rookie, who out-qualified all five Penske Chevys. So yes, the Hondas are strong, but Dale Coyne. So and Bourdais, if he hadn't crashed, he'd be right up there. He would have been challenging for the pole today. So two of the Dale Coyne cars, are right there in contention. Of course, then there's Pippa Mann, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, Pippa continues to struggle. She was in the low 220s today, I believe. Also, guys who we seemingly talk about every time we have one of these shows, Fernando Alonso, I thought, had a very impressive day. He continues to just sort of take to Indianapolis very, very well. It's almost as though he's been here 10 years. He looked very comfortable with his run. Fifth is going to be starting fifth. He obviously has the best engine with a Honda right now. He seems to be on, between Ganassi and Andretti, the two best teams right now. What do you think of his chances come next week?
Well, I think they're very good. He's a great driver, as I said, and he's got a great team. He's got a fast car. What he lacks is some of the idiosyncrasies of the Indy 500. The pit stops and how the pit stops go. There's a lot of pit stops in that race. It's a long race. Then you've got the rolling restarts on an oval, and the tricks to that. If we get a yellow late in the race, will he get outfoxed on the restart? Maybe. Of course, his teammates have been trying to help him as much as they can, but I think when it comes down to the race, it's going to be every man for themselves. And so, I think he has a good chance. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he's the winner next week. If I had to pick, out of 3 or 4 choices, it would be, Dixon probably. I mean, let's face it. I guess you can't count him out. Alexander Rossi, who was the fastest Andretti team qualifier, and last year's winner. Everybody thought, well, he lucked into last year's race because he stroked it on a fuel economy run to win. But in fact, he had the fastest lap of the race last year in the race. So he's fast, and I think he's going to be there. He's a smart driver. If you notice, he hasn't since he came in as a rookie last year, he hasn't put a wheel wrong at the speedway. Hasn't touched a wall at all. Hasn't crashed a car like a lot of rookies do. He's done a good job. So I think I would pick him, Alonso, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. Sato, Sato sometimes makes mistakes, but he's fast. He was the second fastest Andretti qualifier. So actually, no, I think Hunter-Reay was the second fastest Andretti qualifier, although he's starting 10th because of he was in Group 1 today, so the best he could do was 10th. Sato was the third fastest, and then Alonso. So those guys, those 3 or 4 guys, Dixon and the 3 or 4 Andretti guys, I think are going to be, the favorites to win the race, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm looking at this. While you were talking, I was just looking at this. And yeah, I mean, Rossi just seems incredibly confident and incredibly relaxed at Indianapolis. Another guy who it almost seems as though he's been around 10 years, even though this is only going to be his second start. And yeah, Hunter-Reay, I think after today, is going to have a lot of confidence going into the race. So yeah, Dixon, Rossi, Hunter-Reay, I would probably say is sort of your top tier, and then there are other guys after that. But yeah, those are if I had to pick 3, just looking at this right now, those would be the 3 that I would pick.
I think you got to put Alonso. I think you got to put Alonso in there. I think he's going to surprise people. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's a bit of an unknown. I just wonder with Alonso, it's not just him. It's can a crew that's part time, how are they going to do over 7 pit stops? The restarts that you mentioned, it's those things that I have my question marks. But yeah, I think in the group right behind Dixon, Rossi, Hunter-Reay, yeah, I'd put Alonso right in there as well. Also, we got a little bit more information on Sebastian Bourdais today. He released a statement saying that things had gone well with his surgery. It does appear that he is, barring sort of a miracle, he will be out for the season. That was no real surprise. I guess just sort of, we were talking about this before the show, what might happen with that seat. Obviously, James Davison is in it for the 500. Davison has raced previously with the team. He was part of that. Remember when they had the 3-car accident on pit road a couple years ago that took out all 3 of the cars?
Yeah.
That happened. We were sitting in the media center. It happened right in front of us. But yeah, Davison is back with the team. That wasn't a huge surprise given his prior relationship. But I guess this is kind of looking beyond the Indy 500. And I know Dale's not going to tell us, but any sort of thoughts on where he might go with that number 18 car, which has been very quick this year, as we were talking about?
They have a great engineers on that team now.
Yeah.
And the Bourdais helped to bring them in when he came over. So I got to believe the engineers are going to try to push for a good driver, a top driver, somebody like a Mike Conway. But Mike Conway is signed with Toyota in the World Endurance Championship, and he also doesn't want to run ovals. So you might see him in for a couple of races. Would be my guess. And then it's going to come down to maybe R.C. Anderson, who ran a couple races last year. If he's got some money, you might see him in the car for a few races. And he did very well, by the way, in the
Yeah,
races that he ran. He was very
did
surprising.
very well, Watkins Glen.
Yeah, yeah. And then, you've got guys like Oriol Servia, who's not full-time with Ray Hall. He's only running this race, and maybe one other. So, he's out there as a possibility. Who knows? Gabby Chavez, or Sebastian Saavedra, all the guys that are only running the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Any one of those can end up being a candidate because after the 500 they've got no ride. So they'll all be knocking on Dale's door, I suspect, because that car is fast.
Yeah, I guess the question is what sort of are they going to sort of choose to go the funding route, or are they going to choose? My guess would be Servia is very well regarded in that organization, given his time there. A few of the crew people have told me, before that he's very well regarded there. So I think that he would be kind of an obvious choice. But yeah, I mean, there's just sort of the question is, what direction are they going to go with it? There's obviously a business reality to this sport, and so I guess that would be the question is how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I guess moving on. I guess we talked about this a little bit earlier, but just a little bit of a prediction for next week. If you had to make a choice, who do you think is going to win the thing?
Well, I rattled off my choices before. It's hard to really narrow it down closer than that because, let's face it, Indy 500 is a hard race to win. It takes a little bit of luck. Things have to kind of go your way. The yellows have to go your way. You have to, another driver can't take you out, which has happened. Like Ryan Hunter-Reay last year, got taken out by Townsend Bell. Hunter-Reay was fast, and so was Townsend Bell, but they took each other out. And so, you never know. But so therefore, it's hard to pick just one. But the four guys I rattled off before, Dixon, Rossi, Alonso, and Hunter-Reay would be my four choices. I'd toss a coin as to which one, after that.
Okay, well, I am going to make a choice, and I guess I reserve the right to change this given carb day speeds. But if I have to pick right now, given sort of the extra spring in his step I saw after he turned in that, what was it, around a 232 mile an hour average, I'm going to go with Ryan Hunter-Reay in that 10 spot. He's very good here, and we know he's very, very good with this package. We know he can drive through the field, and he would be my pick if I had to make the choice. Yeah. But we're going to wrap this. We're going to wrap this one up for tonight. This is a quick one. Look for a show later this week. We'll be back again, and we'll definitely have something after the 500 next week. For Mark Cipollone, I'm Brian Croce. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, everybody.